We obviously have a very young coaching staff. And we're trending towards a very young roster, right? So how do you feel that the young coaching staff and that young roster will mesh? Do you think that youth on both sides will be a plus, or is it something they'll have to work through?
I mean, I think that youth on the field is what wins in the NFL. You have exceptions, okay? I mean, look, Tom Brady is an all-timer. But the Bucks, what the Bucks really did over here in the last couple of years was they drafted really well and they added some key pieces of free agency. And the Eagles have not had as many good drafts as they want. And they don't have a ton of cap space. I mean, they're going to still finagle the roster and they'll be able to make some sort of a dent perhaps next week in free agency. But I think that the only way the Eagles get back is to draft really well. So that means in these next couple of drafts, you're going to have a lot of young players on the roster. That means you're going to have to see there's 3 different phases here: acquire good talent, develop that young talent, and then retain that young talent. And so we're in a phase right now where the Eagles, we're seeing them restructure contracts of older players. That can only take you so far. You got to get younger. Now is the time to get younger. I think the Eagles, if you look at the roster, I think the offensive line has a chance to be really good with Jordan Mailata at left tackle, or if Andre Dillard beats him out, Lane Johnson comes back, Brandon Brooks, we hope, comes back. That's a pretty good offensive line. Wide receivers need to step up, and I'm sure they'll add to the mix in the draft. Running back, Miles Sanders, got to stay healthy, and you need more depth there with Boston Scott and another back. Quarterback, if it's Jalen or whoever it might be, got to play better. The defense, to me, and tight end, I think is fine, whether they keep Zach or not. I think Dallas Goedert's a really good player, and Richard Rodgers played well last year. To me, the defense is like, where's all the talent? I think Darius Slay's a really good player. I think Brandon Graham's a good player. I think Fletcher Cox is a great player. Older guys, though. So where are your young stars on defense? I mean, Alex Singleton's not a star, but he's a solid player. But where are the young stars on defense? So, yeah, this is going to be a younger team. They have to be younger. They have to hit on the draft, and they have to develop those players. And we just didn't see in the last recent years enough young players coming through the pipeline to help the blue chip talent levels on this roster.
Yeah, I mean, that's great insight. And to kind of stick on the young category, with the coaches, has anyone really stood out to you after you've talked to them or done your research on some of the new coaches that we have?
Yeah, I think Jonathan Gannon, the defensive coordinator, on the most recent podcast that I did, Eagles Insider Podcast, which we hope you all subscribe to, we just came out on Monday, and Jonathan was awesome. I mean, we weren't talking specifically about the Eagles. We're not doing that right yet. We're just kind of a get to know the coach. Great background. He was a scout. He was also a coach who worked under some really well-known defensive coordinators. He was in Indianapolis as a coordinator, or as a position coach. Now he's a coordinator here, and I feel like he's a rising star. I just got that feeling from him. So I'm really excited. I think the defense will be more aggressive than it was last year. And look, we all say, hey, Jim Schwartz, hey, we want to see more blitzing. But, well, I mean, we'll see. Like, you be careful what you ask for. I mean, I remember when so many people were like, get Andy Reid out of town. I'm sick of hearing from Andy Reid. Well, okay. You happy about that now?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I really like Jonathan a lot. And I'm looking forward to meeting Brian Johnson, the quarterback's coach, as well. I've talked to Shane Steichen, who I like a lot. Michael Clay is a special teams coordinator. He's only 29 years old. He's got a chance if his career keeps going in the right direction to be a head coach someday. So we'll see, man. I mean, I want to see them on the field. They might be great interviewers and they might be great guys, but I want to see them on the field. Right. I want to see them developing young players.
Everywhere. This is for you.
Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird game nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning